Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 24th episode of the 34 Sports Podcast. How's everybody doing today? I know I'm doing pretty good. I just did really well I was at a flea market and I picked up some cards for pretty cheap. That video will be going up probably this week. I'm joined by my co-host Raptor. How you doing? It's been a while.
Pretty. I've been living life,
Yeah.
playing my games, spending time with the family. So we're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, I know it is a little bit different right now with everything going on, but all you can do is just keep going.
Facts.
Uh, yeah, speaking of just odd situations, let's move into the NBA. Just talk about the injury bugs hitting teams right now. We had a couple teams start off hot. The Lakers well, hotter than the Lakers was Dallas. But over the last couple of days, both teams have been hit with injuries. Lucas has something with his shoulder and his neck area. I don't know whether it's a nerve or something in the shoulder, but it's not allowing him movement in the head, so that's been messing them up. That series started off pretty good. Have you been able to watch any of that?
No, all I know is that it's been kind of back and forth
Well, it's
for
been.
them.
Go ahead.
I just know it's been mostly back and forth for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it swings one way or the other. There's no in between. It's either
Yeah.
one team's dominating or the other. For Dallas, it started off that nobody could guard Luka. I mean, right now with the way the Clippers have done, they put Beverly on the bench these last two games, kind of coming off the bench, and he hasn't played a whole lot because Luka was just taking him to town. They had to switch it up, get a little bit more size with Reggie Jackson out there, and they've been able to turn it around. Dallas started off really hot, but like I said, Luka had the injury. And Clippers had to make some changes. They had to make their rotation smaller. Actually, they don't roll with Zubac out there. They've just been rolling small ball, and they've just been letting Luka shoot his shot. And since the shoulder injury last game specifically, I'll have this out tonight, so I don't have to date it too much. But he went 0 for 4 off of free throws in Game 4, uh, so he couldn't make a free throw. 0 for 5 actually. Not good for Dallas. I feel bad, but then again, the Clippers got to win now more than Dallas does. Dallas will have time there, but it still
Yeah.
sucks for Luka to go out based off an injury, not off a play. Clippers have seemed to figure it out. This is in the last two games, game 3 and 4. They've really become the team that everybody thought they could be. It's the closest we've seen to it because most of the time it's just been constant letdown. But really excited to see if they can keep this up because I kind of I was feeling kind of stupid comparing them to the '04 Pistons when they were sucking. But they have the ability to play defense at that level, but we'll have to see if it lasts long term. Now, speaking of injury bug, we're gonna move to the Lakers series. Been back and forth. Suns came out game one and made a point. Although Chris Paul did get hurt, I've been watching that series pretty good. The ones I could catch. And Chris Paul getting hurt really hurt them game 2 and 3. And I will say Lakers fans were clowning on Chris Paul slightly, but now the shoe's on the other foot because the Lakers now have to deal with no AD and a lack of depth at that position. I mean, you have Gasol, but Gasol's about 2-3 years out of what would help them at that position. And Harold doesn't show up in the playoffs as we've seen on the Clippers and the Lakers. Um, I said that going into the season too, but nobody. Well, I didn't really talk with anybody, but there wasn't a lot of people saying that. Drummond is not going to help you. God knows. I don't even want to get into that again. But Andre Drummond is not help them. If he steps up, it will truly surprise me. But he is one of the keys that they need to step up now with Davis out for Game 5, and I think longer. I think the reason why they're saying he's not out for longer is to keep the fans wanting to watch the games and to keep Vegas having people bet on the Lakers. Because
It's kind of funny though, because whenever I see the Suns winning, I think people thought that the Lakers were gonna absolutely pub stomp them.
yeah, I would not have want to put money on the Lakers a couple of days ago. I'd be sick right now if I had a house payment riding on the Lakers.
and I think the Suns are a lot more like hungry for this. So I don't. I think I see an upset. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not really an upset. I mean, it is, but I mean, the Suns are the two
Well, when you
seed. People are
compare
just
what's on each
disrespecting
team,
them hard. That's part of the issue.
they do have Devin Booker, who's an All Star.
Book's been splashing it hard. I've been watching them games.
Chris Paul, if he wasn't injured, but he still played really well in the game.
Yeah, he
So I
came
mean,
back
like,
game four and looked pretty good, and he'll only get better with more time off. Like he'll have 2 days in between this one.
I think people just I don't know. Like you just said, I just think they disrespect them because they're the Suns and not the Lakers of whatever.
Well, a big thing I see is playoff Aiton here. I'm gonna call him that because he has played very well in the playoffs. He's getting double doubles. He had 15 rebounds the first game with like 25 points. I mean, that's elite numbers right there. I like DeAndre Ayton. I mean, still could have had either Luca or Trey Young, but uh, I don't know. I feel like they needed a big anyway. So Ayton, I mean, you can't be mad at that. You gotta be more mad if you're the Kings and drafted Bagley over Luca. But uh, yeah, Ayton's played his role. You got guys like Mikal Bridges, who's a very young guy. He's knocking down threes and he can guard LeBron somewhat. I mean, you can't fully stop LeBron. Although I will say, if you're not delusional, it is getting easier to guard LeBron because he is slightly slowing down. Not that he's not a very elite player, but
No,
it's starting to
I've noticed
come.
it.
It's harder to notice with him, but you can see it if you're not
No, but I've noticed because he
blind.
seems to almost have a limp every time he walks off the damn court now.
Well, yeah, Davis was not looking the best either prior to the injury. I don't think the Achilles is fully healed yet. Uh,
And now he has what was it, a strained
he has
groin
a
or something?
strained groin, and if you watch the video of him straining his groin, I don't think he really even got touched on the reverse layup. Uh,
I watched it. He got his arm hit, but all like nothing would have caused that.
yeah, I mean, it was lower body. It was the way he fell backwards and must have spun
But
his
he also
leg.
went up on three people at once, so it's
Well,
kind of his
yeah.
fault.
Well, they didn't really touch him though, so is it really going up on three people? He was just trying to reverse it. I don't. It was
Just
pretty
came
minimal
down.
contact.
Yeah,
Just a bad play.
kind of a. I wouldn't
Not a
say a
bad
freak,
play, but
but good little.
you know who they're missing right now? And I said it. I've said it before.
What? Don't know. Wait. Who are they missing right now?
Who are they missing?
JaVale.
JaVale and Dwight, both of them.
One of those. Yeah,
Because I'd
both
rather
actually.
have both if we Gasol at this point.
I haven't heard shit about Gasol the whole year.
He had three threes last game. He's been doing all right, but we both know he's not going to be their savior.
I
I
also
mean,
have not heard about Drummond, and I mean nothing.
no, he's not going to come. In Detroit, we got swept twice when we made the play. Wait, hold on. Yeah, twice. Yeah, we've only made the
Yeah, 'cause you
playoffs
guys got
twice.
swept by the Bucks. I remember
I was
that
trying to
one.
think, did
And
we do
then
back to back against the Bucks? Because I'm thinking we had one more with Stanley
I know
Johnson.
one of you guys got killed by the Bucks, but I don't know about
No,
another time.
yeah, we got swept back to back there, and then the other time was with Stanley Johnson talking trash to LeBron, saying that he could guard him after game one that they lost anyway. Oh man, God, why did he do that? None of that. But Drummond is not going to show up for you. Um, he'll do all right. He'll get his rebounds, but for him to step up offensively, I don't see it happening enough to change the outcome. I think with Chris Paul getting healthier and the Lakers getting weaker, it's unless I don't even know if LeBron dropped 50 if it would still
I don't know
help
either.
because it would if LeBron dropped 50 it would mean he would be playmaking less and then it would be easier for the Suns because it would be all him.
Just stop LeBron and win the game.
But yeah,
Try
and
to
I'm
LeBron and win.
I'm still mad that people don't realize when he does that look down to the right foot, they don't realize he's shooting a three. That's still getting on my nerves that people still will fall for that.
Like they do know that. It's just the fact that it's LeBron and he's not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
So people,
no.
but I get why you would think that because he literally does it every fucking time. So you're not wrong. But
Yeah. Yeah, but that I mean, I gotta see how Game 5 plays out because then I'll say whether it's gonna be competitive or not. Uh, yeah, that third quarter last night, LeBron mailed it in quite a bit. I know I like the LeBron bash on the podcast a lot, but he did mail it in quite a bit in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter where he just stood under the basket and just looked out of bounds. I mean, everybody wants to compare him to Michael Jordan, but I can tell you, Michael Jordan would have threw a ball at every one of his teammates if he ever caught anybody doing that under the rim when there was like 40 seconds left and it was an 8-point game.
That's facts.
Still out of reach, probably, but just what kind of effort? I mean, there's kids that look up to him, and what kind of effort does that show to the young kids that look up to him? That doesn't show them anything. I mean, they're already shooting threes like Steph Curry does, so I mean, uh, man,
They literally yell Steph Curry. So.
it's gonna be a struggle for there might be some weak draft class in the next few years, a couple of years down the road because there'll be the kids that couldn't play high school because of the COVID. We'll have to see if that affects anything. I know you got your AAUers, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll have to see. I don't know. Of course, you got Imani Bates coming up. I mean, come on now. I don't know. Have you seen much of Imani Bates?
No, but I've heard of him, but many times.
He's edging towards getting triple doubles. You got Chet Holmgren coming in next year, but yeah, should be interesting to see how that affects in the future. Let's go to other series. We did Clippers, Mavs. We've done Lakers, Suns. What else have we got? We got Utah and Memphis. Utah and Memphis has been pretty competitive. Ja's been trying his hardest. I mean, the other guys, I think that team's built pretty well. It's just too young yet. There's some of them guys gotta get another step. I think Brandon Clark will be pretty good for them in the future. Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back from injury, so he's still trying to find his footing. And Memphis is just they're up and coming. Utah with Donovan Mitchell is a juggernaut, though. If the Clippers manage to beat the Mavs, which with Luka looking the way he is and Porzingis not really stepping up for them, it's probably going to be Clippers versus Jazz next round because, like I said, Utah's just playing so well. That'll be a really fun series to watch. Now, I mean, I may be talking a little too early because if Ja Morant drops 50 a game and they just push through, it could be Memphis, but that's going to be highly unlikely. I like Ja a lot, but it's going to take a ton. I mean, Ja's an inside player, and you got Gobert down there, so that's a recipe for disaster for Memphis. They don't have any big that could stretch the floor either because Valanciunas is a down low big, so it's not like you're going to get Gobert out of the paint. So I don't expect Memphis to win that one in any way. But we'll see what happens. I think it'll be Jazz. Jazz have looked really good since they got Conley and not Gobert, Mitchell back. Donovan, I mean, he's had playoff experience. My favorite thing he did in the playoffs is where against the Rockets last year or the year before. Would have had to been the year before because it was fans. But he caught his own miss and he dunked it with one hand and just hung. That was a pretty good dunk. But Mitchell's ready. Mitchell's like a D Wade. He really is. He plays like D Wade. I think D Wade had a 3, but I think Mitchell's more apt. I mean, it's the way the game is going, but he's more apt to shoot the 3. I don't know. Who would you rather have, Mitchell or Anthony Edwards? Just off the top of your head.
Mitchell, easily.
I think that could
Mitchell,
be. I think that
easily.
I could see that. I think it could be a closer comparison in a few years. I got to see how Edwards goes. They're both good defensive guards. It would be kind of interesting if they were both on the same team. That would be a really good backcourt. Now, will that
just
ever
think
happen?
that
No, but
one of the things that it's like, I don't know.
We'll have to see what
I
Memphis
think Mitchell
does.
has a little bit more selflessness, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Mitchell was a 4-year guard at Louisville, so he's got a little more tune-up before he even hit the league. So Mitchell that's a good pick. Detroit actually passed on him for Luke Kennard. But we
Jeez.
got Sadiq Bey out of the Kennard trade, so I
You
guess it
always
comes
wonder
around.
though, do you ever think when a front office watches a player that they could have drafted on another team go absolutely nuts, that they just like hate themselves for a little bit?
Detroit could have a 24-hour live stream of that. I mean, come on now. I mean, we had Middleton and let him go. I mean, let alone having players that you could have drafted, but then again, we had Dinwiddie and Middleton, and we let them go within a couple years of drafting them. I mean, crazy. I mean, Middleton was a little bit different because he's young and we wanted Brandon Jennings, but the trade there didn't amount to anything. So, Detroit, I mean, let's get back in the playoffs because I could spend the whole podcast talking about Detroit messing up. But um, what was I? We were on Utah and Memphis. Can't believe I don't know the bracket. That's kind of irritating. We got one more team. Who am I missing? Can you think? Because we got Suns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Denver and Portland. Have you seen any of that? That's been a close
I've
one.
not watched any of that series.
Denver and Portland have been close. They've been going back and forth. The first game, Portland really did the work on Jokic. Nurkic knew what he was doing because, I mean, they played together when they were first in the league. But he kept Jokic to one assist, which they're not going to win if Jokic only has one assist, especially with no Jamal Murray to create his own shot. Jokic pushes that offense. He dishes off to Michael Porter Jr. and just he's all over the place. Aaron Gordon
He's
now.
literally a point.
Yeah, and it's better now that he's dropped like I think he's down 30 pounds. So for him, best shape of his career, and he's gonna get MVP. I would say it would really surprise me for anybody else to get it. Um,
Curry.
Curry's a ninth seed though. I heard Dame made a really good case as to why Curry shouldn't get the MVP is because when he was in the ninth seed putting up big numbers like Curry, they weren't
He-
even looking at him. They were not even looking
That's
at Dame. So that shut me up on that too. I was thinking that a little bit myself, but uh, Dame should have an MVP, but he doesn't. Maybe next year. I've heard rumors that they might, if Terry Stotts loses here to Denver, that they might fire him and bring in a new coach, and that might spice up Portland a little bit. But we'll have to see what happens come the off season there. But this series is probably going to go to 7, I would say. They always do. I mean, I think every Portland Denver series in the last 2 3 years have went to 7. Just they're just really good teams. Uh, I really hope Dame gets more recognition. I think he could have an MVP run next year. I think your top 3 for MVP next year will be Dame. I mean, this is way too early. Dame, Doncic, and Curry. I think will be your top 3 next year because Curry is gonna have Clay back, and then he's got to play less defense, and it'll just be different. But this series is gonna be good. CJ's been good for them. Your boy Norman Powell, who you got Gary Trent for, has been playing well for them. In a different role on their team. Nurkic is playing well. You got Melo off the bench doing this. Rocco, I like Rocco a lot, and you got
I
Derek
love
Jones Jr.
Roco.
The Rocco is so fun to play with in 2K too.
I noted.
He's just I don't know. Rocco is. I don't know if I had to build a team, Rocco would probably be on it just because of his ability to do it all. But yeah, my prediction for the next round is you got Utah Clippers, and then you'll have Suns and Denver probably. I'm thinking Denver's gonna edge over Portland. Although I would like to see Dame continue to go, but
And
I
you
don't.
think, and you're the same with me. With you think the Suns might be able to take out the Lakers?
I think the Suns definitely can take out the Lakers. They needed AD prior to the series to even win. So now that he's out,
They were tied in the series with him. So
yeah, and he was the one who was putting up the majority of the points in their wins. He had back-to-back 30-point games, which is why they were in the spot they were in, up 2-1. Now with the Suns, with Chris Paul coming back with a vengeance because he was tired. I think he was listening to the media just constantly just trash him because he's ready to go again. But yeah, that'll be that side. You have Suns Nuggets probably, and Utah and Clippers. Now let's move to the East. Let's just start. Top of my head, it just came to my mind. Nets Boston has been a pretty good series, despite Boston being down Jaylen Brown. That really surprised me. Have you been catching any of the stat lines there?
I haven't been answering the stat lines, but I know for a fact that series is a lot closer than what people thought.
Oh, yeah. It's because of Jason
I thought the
Tatum.
Nets were gonna run through them.
Well, they basically are, but they're putting up a fight. The one game I watched, Game 3, that Tatum had 50, which is one of the best all-time performances, I think, because I think most people, I know from 2K breaking the record just on the video game, it's 61 is the most done by Michael Jordan in a playoff game. So for him to get 50,
You're
that's
only 11 points shy of tying Jordan.
yeah. Yeah, Tatum is a beast. It's too bad Jaylen Brown went down. I think the Nets still would have beat them in this series with Jaylen Brown, but at least it would have been like down to the wire. Now last game, Kyrie almost got hit with the water bottle. That was not good. I'm not a big Kyrie fan, but still, it was a full water bottle somebody chucked at him. That was a little much. But
Yeah.
well, have to see what happens in that series. Kyrie also just scraped on center court too. He scraped his shoe right over their logo and left a black mark. Didn't make Boston fans too happy, but he proceeded after he marked center court to drop 37. So he got two laughs that day, I guess. But yeah, Brooklyn is a gauntlet. I mean, there's nothing about it. I mean, they brought it in, but it's there. I mean, you can't deny it. It's going to be really hard to beat them. Although another team, and we'll flip to that because the Nets are going to win that series. We don't even have to talk about that much. But the Milwaukee Bucks got their vengeance on the Heat bad. The Heat are going to have to do something in the off season. Probably you'll end up trading Tyler Hero for somebody. Who knows?
I haven't watched any of that series. What the hell's happening?
It's over. It's completely 4-0 sweep. Miami's done.
Oh, God.
Jimmy Butler got clamped up, and so did Adebayo, because they got Drew Holiday and they got P.J. Tucker. So that was the end of the road for that. I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto doesn't end up with Tyler Hero here in the offseason, sign and trade for unless Tyler Hero's a free agent. Now that's different. It could be a sign and trade for both. But
I've heard the Raptors are somewhat of a runner for that, dude.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry for Tyler Hero and a sign and trade for both. Could be kind of interesting. We'll see if that happens. Who knows? Hero has really regressed because he's too busy being a pretty boy than worrying about playing basketball. But that Heat Bucks series was just a domination. Giannis was killing them. You even had Brent Forbes come off the bench for the Bucks, which most people probably don't know who Brent Forbes is. He came out of MSU, but he's a sharpshooter. He had like 19 points in one game, like 6 threes.
That's bad.
Drew Holiday's been doing well. That first game, yeah, Middleton hit the game winner in the OT. That was the only competitive game of the whole series. But yeah, they just knocked the life out of the Heat. Pat Riley will not let this go off easy because everybody was already saying it was a fluke, and this only proves it further, unfortunately. Only proves their point further. I don't know which way I believe it myself, but I do know that the bubble was weak. I know Lakers fans aren't going to want to hear that, but really they did not get the best product out of the East because Giannis got hurt. The Boston Celtics didn't make it through there. I kind of wish Boston had honestly made the finals now looking back, but Butler can say he made the finals, I guess, because they're going to have to build. Definitely not signing Oladipo is not going to help. Miami's in an iffy spot right now, but let's go to the flip side. The Bucks just absolutely just ran through them. I expect in the East, we'll talk about other teams here, but the Bucks are probably going to go straight to the conference finals and play the Nets, and then the Nets are just going to outscore them and beat them. But yeah, but Bucks are really good. That Hawks-Knicks series has been quite a thriller. I mean, from Trae Young.
I literally saw the first game of that, and it was already
Those Knicks fans are mad. They have been sitting in the house for a long time. They are ready to be out there. I mean, the dude spit on Trae Young, for God's sakes. Oh, that is That nobody should do that. I just mean those fans are rowdy. People forget about the Knicks fans because they've been irrelevant for about 10 years now. But Knicks fans are some of the craziest fans you'll ever see. I mean, they just are rowdy. New Yorkers are mad anyway. I went to New York, and I mean, you want to hear a horn honk, you'll hear a horn honk. They honk the horn on their cars for no reason. I mean, you're stuck in a city with 7 million people, and you got to ride the subway with about packed, uh, everybody touching each other. I mean, not during COVID. I hate to. I mean, how do they even move now with the virus, with all that in the subway, social distancing, and all that? I don't even know how that's possible. But that's another thing for
I
another
know they
podcast.
closed it for a bit, the subway service.
Man, it's a shame. I mean, that would suck if you had to get downtown in New York and you couldn't use the subway. You'd have to pay taxi, I guess. Yeah, you could use a
Yeah.
taxi. A little more expensive, but they get it done. But yeah, Knicks are not putting up a fight. Julius Randle looks like hot garbage in the playoffs. It's a good thing they gave him the most improved award already, and didn't. Good thing the votes are already in because he has played awful. He has not showed up. I realize you got Clint Capella down there, but that is not anything you should be exceptionally worried about. Is Clint Capella. Trae Young has been just popping off. He's really been putting it on him. Nobody can guard him. Derrick Rose, I like Derrick Rose, but he's not a defensive guy per se. He's not a horrible defender, but he's not going to stop Trae Young if he's heated. I mean, there's not a lot of people that can stop Trae Young when he gets hot. He's like Curry with worse defense, if you can believe it. Curry's already got bad defense, but
Yeah.
Trae Young is. I mean, if he plays like this every time he hits the playoffs, he's gonna win a championship eventually.
He is cracked out of his mind.
He's insane. I mean,
That's too far. I was gonna say, dare I say he's like 20. I might have my year screwed up.
2015 Curry.
2016. Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. 2016
like
Curry.
a cold-blooded type of just like does not give a what's going on around him.
Right. And he also doesn't. I mean, he's like that, but he doesn't have a Klay Thompson to back him up. So
No.
Well, he's got Bogdanovich, but that's not Klay Thompson. And they also, guess who they got next round when they beat these guys?
Who?
Brooklyn. They got
Oh,
Brooklyn
God.
next round. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's not funny for Atlanta fans, but I mean, come on. It's Brooklyn. They got three of top fives probably. You probably top five for most people is Durant. I don't know. I don't want to disrespect Dame, but I was gonna say Durant, probably LeBron, Kyrie, Harden, and AD is a lot of people's top fives. It's not mine per se, but that's what I hear a lot. And so you got three on one team. What do you expect? They got Joe Harris too. I mean, it's a wrap really. And you got Blake. Blake can dunk now because he's a piece of garbage and thinks he can just sag for 2 years. But I guess I can't be too salty. I can be salty because they gave him up for the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander pick. Can be a little salty, but yeah. But that Hawks have played well, but they are going to run into Brooklyn. The other side, you got Philly. Have you seen anything on Philly?
No, not even no.
Philly just ran through the Wizards. I mean, most I saw that series with Westbrook getting it with popcorn.
I'm not surprised. Then other than him and Beal, they suck.
That was really all that happened. I mean, you had Gafford, who was a decent defender, but he's not going to put up points. They don't have any point getters. I mean, maybe Denny Avdija will slip into that role in 2-3 years from now, but will Beal or Westbrook be there? No. They'll have a whole new team when Denny Avdija and Hashimura get into their big, where they could possibly lead the team. But they're done. We'll see what Wizards do in the offseason. Philly just looked really good. They gel well. Harris is playing well. He plays well whenever he plays for Doc, so good sign for them. They do play the Bucks next round, though, so could be interesting. But the way Giannis is playing, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks don't push through that pretty easily. We'll see. I'm guessing 5, 6 games on that next round. If it goes to 7, it would be good for TV, but I don't know, really good. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much right now. I think NFL's quieted down a lot. Uh, I don't
Yeah,
know if anything. Aaron Rodgers trade is basically dead for right now. I don't even know if that's gonna happen. Julio Jones trade talks are really spicing up. Could go to the Patriots. Could go to Indianapolis. I mean, there's where else was there? Tennessee Titans. Titans need another offensive weapon because as much as King Henry can do, they got to have somebody to throw it to. So it's not just they're gonna run the ball. Um, but we'll see what they do. There's no real big thing on Julio besides where he went on Get Up and not Get Up. What is it? The show with Shannon Sharp, Undisputed. He went on Undisputed and he didn't go on there because he wanted to. Shannon Sharp brought him on there without him knowing. And he said he didn't want to go to the Cowboys and he doesn't want to play in Atlanta. So that's really the only two that he doesn't want to play for. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see who they move him for because, I mean, unlike Rodgers, he's moving.
yeah,
Should be interesting. There's people that are scared of picking up Julio because he's 32, and I think they're crazy. I think he's got at least 2-3 more years on him, and he can make you a contender this year if you get Julio. That's why I think the Titans will probably pull on it if they can swing it. We'll have to see though. We'll talk draft next week. I think this is pretty well it. It's been a quiet week besides the NBA. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I gotta get better with this, but that's it for episode 24. We'll be back probably next week with another one. I would think so. I'm starting to get back into it. It's summer break. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you haven't, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're on the podcast platform, thank you for watching. Have a good week.